Good afternoon. You know, I get up here every couple of days and I talk about different shit, uh, different topics, different subject matter as it relates to my community, my people. That's my primary concern. I don't talk too much about celebrity issues and stories unless somebody I really respect, you know, passes away or something like that. I might speak on it, but by and large, it's all politics, um, information. Sometimes I might talk about health and fitness. Anyway, that kind of shit. I like to talk about important shit, is what I'm saying, right? So I like to talk about world affairs, right? Right now, the biggest thing that's on my mind anyway is the Israel Palestine conflict, genocide, ethnic cleansing, whatever you want to call it. Because it ain't no war. Anyway, and as it relates to black people and how Jewish people seem to think that we not making enough noise in support of them. So that's the kind of stuff I've been focusing on, because you know they really do run this country, and after they finish off the Palestinians, they're gonna need a new enemy, and I just don't want that new enemy to be us in this country. A lot of people, with big motherfucking channels and all that, Tariq Nasheed and people like him, others, even Dr. Umar Johnson, I believe. Anyway, these guys seem to think, or they say that we don't have, we don't have a dog in this fight. We shouldn't. It's not our fight either way. But to their credit, they also understand the way I understand that both Israelis and Palestinians get over here and they treat us like second class citizens. You heard what that woman said the other day, that movie star. You're lower than the Jews, you're black. And she tried to apologize. I forget the lady name, but it's up there. She apologized and tried to walk it back, but that was that weak ass apology she did just to save her career. But she really feels that way, that black people are the lowest of the low. And after they finish off the Palestinians in Israel, they're going to need somebody else to fuck with. And I'm just trying to make sure that it ain't us. When they getting on TV talking about, having these conferences talking about young black people are their biggest threat and all that. So just because we don't have a dog in that fight don't mean we shouldn't be mindful of it. Don't mean we shouldn't pay close attention to the tactics that are being used. Because they're already saying, right, that Israel is already saying that if you're not with us, then you're against us. And to me, when somebody say that shit to me, I really don't like it. When somebody say that shit to me, especially when the person who's saying it is committing the crime. Somebody carrying out some hideous bullshit and telling you that if you don't go along with it, you fucked up. You wrong. They carrying out something that's clearly, right, messed up, atrocious, an atrocity, a genocide, an ethnic cleansing that's being carried out. But if you don't go along with it and you don't co-sign it, you and your people are wrong. Like, history started on October the 7th. And from that point on, Israel can do no wrong. I don't give a fuck, and you got to get right behind it. I don't understand that shit because I cannot co-sign a genocide. I can't co-sign ethnic cleansing. I can't do that. My people can't do that. So, I mean, we got to be on the right. It's right and it's wrong in this situation. And when you know the history and you know how far back this shit goes and you know the root causes of why it's happening, well, then you got to be on the side of the people who are being oppressed. You got to be on the Palestinian side. That's where you got to be. If you really believe in, having righteous thought in your head. If you really believe in having righteous thoughts in your head, then you got to be on the side of the Palestinians because. But then when the Palestinians come to the United States and a bunch of them are coming over here, they got to realize that they can't shit on us. No, they can't come over here like they've been doing for all these years, setting up shop in the black community and dumping on us and treating us like shit, selling us guns and drugs and bad foods and you name it, they over here doing, being slumlords, but they taking all of this money out of the black community and they live somewhere else. I lived in some neighborhoods that I have 4 or 5 Arab stores in there, right? And I never knew where any of these motherfuckers lived. Turns out they lived in the next town over, like in New Hartford and shit like that. So, yeah, we got to be mindful of both sides. And we already know who financed the slave trade. We already know who insured the boats that brought our ass over here. We already know who did all of that to us. All you got to do is start checking history and you know what side to be on. And you can't let nobody bully you into co-signing some bullshit. You can't let no one bully you into co-signing something that's clearly wrong. You cannot do that. And then there's the election coming up. Donald Trump is in all this trouble, but he still might wind up being president. He in all this trouble, getting indicted, found responsible for a rape, fraud, this, that, the next, and he still leaps and bounds ahead of anybody in his own party and just ahead of Joe Biden. Joe Biden need the black vote in order to defeat Donald Trump in the general election. He need that black vote. He could get all the mixture of everybody he want. All that mixture is going to break 50-50. In some cases, 60-40. But it ain't going to be 80-20 like the black vote. You feel me? It ain't going to be 80-20 like the black vote. It ain't going to be enough to turn the tide of the election. Joe Biden and the Democrats are going to lose if they can't secure the black vote. They can twist and turn and do all kind of political gymnastics and shit all they want to. But if they don't have the black vote, then we're going to see 4 more years of a Republican president. I hope it's not Donald Trump, but I don't give a shit if it is, because Donald Trump going to spend his next 4 years getting retribution for all the white people that try to put him in jail. He going to pardon all them crackers that was at January 6th. Shit like that he going to be tied up in. You know what I mean? And black people going to harden up our defenses and refocus and wake the fuck back up, because that's what we do when we get Republican presidents. We wake up and we harden up and we toughen up and we unite. Under Democratic presidents, black people go the fuck to sleep. And I'm tired of that. I ain't saying I'm voting for Donald Trump because I don't want that goofy motherfucker to be in the White House any more than anybody else. But I'm not afraid of it. I don't want Donald Trump in the White House no more than anybody else, but I'm not afraid of it. So, motherfucking Democrats need to put up or shut up. And by that I mean we need our transformative black agenda looked at and addressed. We need real police reform. We need reparation for slavery and Jim Crow, and not necessarily in that order. That's what we need. Otherwise, fuck the White House. Otherwise, screw the White House. We don't need it. We don't need it. So, I'm going to love this next election cycle. I'm going to love watching. Because, I'm going to tell you something. It might look like Donald Trump is going to be the Republican nominee right now. It might look like that. But, shit, if I remember correctly, in 2016, they had to bring, because Bernie Sanders was about to be the Democratic nominee, and they couldn't have Bernie Sanders. They couldn't run Bernie Sanders. A, he was Jewish. B, he too progressive. They didn't want Medicare for all and all of that shit. So they dragged Joe Biden ass up out the basement, pumped him full of Adderall, dragged up motherfucking Kamala Harris, and stuck them in there. If y'all remember how quickly that went. Everybody jumped out the race and threw their support behind the one dude, and they just rushed him on through. And that's how we got Joe Biden. Because Joe Biden and Kamala Harris was out the race. Now, just because Donald Trump is so far ahead in the polls, there ain't no guarantee that he'll be the motherfucker that wind up running. Just saying. Anything can happen. Now, one of the reasons why I watch it is because it's better than TV. Real world, stupid ass politics, as fake as it is, because I know it's fake. As fake as it is, the fact that I know nothing really going to change worldwide, and we're going to need a meteor strike for some shit to really change. Anybody that comes along that really wants to try to change shit, that he get ostracized and thrown out. But I know all that. So I don't worry too much. But people really do die because of these games that they play over oil and profit and greed and money. That's my shit. That's my shit. You heard what Donald Trump said on that news, interview he did the other night? He did an interview, an ABC interview. And he said, they asked the motherfucker, was he going to be a tyrant? Or some words to that effect. A dictator. He said day one, he going to be a dictator. He said he going to close the borders and he going to drill. He say a lot of, they all say a lot of shit. But closing the borders might not be such a bad thing. But the drill part, not so much. Leave that fucking oil in the ground. But I digress from that point. But Donald Trump could very well be the Republican nominee. And if he is, he going to win. But things could change at the last minute, just like they did for the Democrats in 2016. That's what I'm saying. And it's all theater, and I like watching it. What the fuck else I'm going to watch? Real Housewives? For real. Real world shit is always just as interesting to me as fictional shit. Sometimes in the fictional shit, they'll tell the truth about some shit that really that they really want to do. And you'll see the truth in the art. And maybe 5 years from now, you'll see some shit happen. You'll be like, hey, that was on an episode of the fucking Simpsons or something. That's how 9/11 Man, listen, I'm going off in the weeds, but I'm just saying. The motherfuckers on the Simpsons predicted 9/11 before it happened in an episode. Go look it up. Stupid shit. But yeah, man, politics and political theater is fun to watch. You should get into it and take it for what it is. Take it for what it is. Because, like I said earlier, ain't shit really going to change. The United States is always going to have a bunch of guns and a bunch of mass shootings and the biggest army in the world and the dumbest citizens. And, You know what I mean? It's always going to suck here. I don't even understand why the fuck people keep trying to get here so bad. Fix up where you come from. The United States, it ain't what it's made out to be. And I've been here all my life. And my whole family is military. So, except me. So, anyway, I'm going to close out. And y'all hit the subscribe button and hit the thumbs up button on your way out. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. TC. And I'm out. Peace.